On the Hampton Road Show today, if you plan to do any celebrating between now and New Year's, Virginia police officers will go the extra mile to make sure that you don't drink and drive. Checkpoint Strike Force is underway, and here now to tell us more about what could happen if you're caught driving under the influence is Kurt Erickson from the Washington Regional Alcohol Program, or WRAP. Thank you for coming on to the Hampton Road Show. Happy holidays to you too. You know, we hope everybody does have a holiday that's happy and safe, but every year, it seems, we come back to work and we report on DUI accidents, folks losing their lives, getting hurt, or just getting in serious, legal trouble.
Unfortunately so, and every single one of those incidents is 100% preventable. Every drunk driving crash, arrest, fatality, injury is 100% preventable, and it needs to be, because this is a time of year where we all need to be concerned. There's at any given time of the year, 31% of all traffic fatalities are alcohol related, but in December it jumps to 40%.
That's alarming. How does Checkpoint Strike Force work? I think most people understand the checkpoint part, that they might be driving along and they might be invited to spend a little time on the side of the road.
Well, hopefully your viewers have actually seen these because they're being deployed throughout the state. There's not a part of the Commonwealth that's not having an increased deployment of sobriety checkpoints, which are tools that our law enforcement use to identify and apprehend drunk drivers, and they use them because they work. It's actually less, in my opinion, than it is the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety that studied them and said that if they're done well, they could reduce drunk driving fatalities by as much as 20%.
One thing I've always wondered is, from your side of the operation, why publicize when the Checkpoint Strike Force operations are happening, in some cases as specifically as where they're happening? Do you worry that that will have people trying to find a way around you, or do you feel like awareness is awareness, and if somebody is deterred from drinking too much just because they know it might be happening, then you're already winning?
That's a great question, and the bottom line is when you have a sobriety checkpoint, the next day if you end up having 0 arrests, which many people go, well, that wasn't successful, it's actually very successful. These are trying to be preventative in nature. So if you can get the word out there that law enforcement are going to be in place, hopefully people will designate a driver, do something else besides get behind the wheel of a car, possibly impaired.
You mentioned that these accidents are 100% preventable. You already named one way to prevent them, designate a driver. Other tips or things that people should keep in mind?
Well, public transportation, using cabs, spending the night somewhere instead, but having an exit strategy actually before you go out there is probably the most important thing. And even if you have every confidence in your own ability not to drink and drive, there's still things that we can all do when we're sharing the roads with supposed drunk drivers, which is to report them. In Virginia, you can safely dial #77 on your wireless phone, which is a non-emergency number for state police, and that will alert law enforcement to a suspected drunk driver on area roadways. And it's important because, unfortunately, there are more drunk drivers than there are men and women in uniform in Virginia looking for them.
Man, so if somebody calls in, they need to be prepared. What if they can't see a full license plate number? Should they still call if they can just give you a color of a car? Or?
Absolutely, because they can be an extra set of eyes, and it simply alerts police to go look for that individual.
Okay, Checkpoint Strike Force is in force now through the New Year's holiday.
Through and including New Year's holiday, and unfortunately New Year's we have a 60% uptick in drunk driving fatalities on New Year's alone, so there's reason that they're out there.
All right, well, thanks for getting out there and trying to prevent some of those deaths, injuries, and the legal problems for those folks who are caught. For more information, if you'd like more DUI prevention resources, there's a great website, checkpointstrikeforce.net. And again, you can learn more there about WRAP, the Washington Regional Alcohol Program, WRAP.org. And again, the bottom line here, just don't do it. Don't drink and drive.